Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. On today's episode, we'll be talking about the Think Pink game coming up for the IU East women's basketball team. We'll also be talking a little bit about track and field and an award that the athletic department recently received. But joining me first is women's basketball head coach Tiffani Selhorst to talk about the Play4Kay movement and the Think Pink basketball game. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Caleb.
Well, obviously this game is going to be coming up on February 13th. Just tell us a little bit about the history of this national movement, the Play4Kay movement.
Sure. Well, I guess it starts with Kay Yao, who is a Hall of Fame, or was a Hall of Fame coach for North Carolina State. She had been there for 30 plus years. Just had over 700 wins, had been to the NCAA tournament almost every year she was a coach there. Gotten to the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 and even to the Final Four. Just very well known in the women's basketball community. About midway through her career, was the first time that she dealt with breast cancer. And then she ended up having breast cancer for 3 times before it ended up actually taking her life. But because of that, before she left, or before she passed away, she wanted to set up a foundation because she felt like if she had to go through all this stuff with the cancer and battling it and trying to juggle being a Division I head coach at the highest levels, she wanted it to count. She wanted it to help a lot of people. So they set up a foundation for her, and women's basketball teams all over the country at every level are taking part in this. We want to raise money for cancer research. It goes to the national level in Play4Kay, which I believe they have raised over $5 million at this point, almost $6 million towards research at the national level. But a lot of programs will also help the local level and partner with local chapters of hospitals or whatever it is that would do it for any kind of women's cancers, but definitely breast cancer.
All right, what were some of the things that you did at St. Francis in relation to the Play4Kay game?
Sure. Think Pink was actually one of our biggest games there. We would have close to 1,500 people that would come to that game. You know, we would throw out free gear. We would ask for donations that we could donate to the local chapters at the hospitals for whoever was raising funds for women's cancer research at the time. We would also, one of our biggest things that the fans loved, we would wear pink uniforms. And then after the game, we would tie these up into these nice little plastic bags. Disgusting, but then we would put them on auction and we would raise more funds that way. So usually, I mean, we would raise a couple $1,000s that we were able to donate for that. So that was our biggest thing at St. Francis. Okay,
well, I mean, thinking back to like the Pink Out game for volleyball season, I mean, you've seen how big of a deal that is.
Yeah.
How do you want the community and the school to get involved, maybe make this a little bit bigger than the Pink Out game?
Sure. Well, I think it's great that the Pink Out game for volleyball, and hopefully we can piggyback with that. You know, we're working with Bravo through Reed Hospital. They will be at our game. They're going to have a table set up. We're hoping that they can pass out some information. We are also asking that instead of admission and paying $5 to get into our game, that you just go ahead and walk over to their table and donate it directly to them. We're also going to be wearing our pink uniforms, which I am wearing today to show off a little bit. Our kids will be wearing that with some pink socks, and we're going to get into the whole thing. You know, breast cancer or women's cancers of any sort have touched almost everybody. It's one of those, 7 degrees that it's something that everybody has to deal with at some point in their life, and knowing somebody that has had it. I believe it's 1 in 4 women may experience breast cancer. That's a scary statistic,
Right.
especially for a coach, because I'm thinking about my team, and it means that about 3 or 4 kids from my team may have to deal with this at some point. So I want to make this a big deal within the Richmond community. We're hoping that we can get people to come out just because Bravo is there and you're able to donate towards them and their cause, but with that, be able to check out a cool women's basketball game
Right.
and see our team in action. We're really exciting to watch, as you know, because you're at almost every game.
Right.
But yeah, just having a ton of people get on board with the Bravo thing, and then having a place that we can help them raise some funds towards cancer research.
All right, do you have any personal connections with this at all?
The only real connection that I've had is I was able to meet Coach Kay Yao when she was alive, and she had at that point already gone through this twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just amazing to me to see her dedication to this. Every coach really has a passion to coach or a vision to coach and what they want to do for their life and impact women in these ways. But it was just really neat to see how much it meant to her to help not only just her basketball team, but just
Right.
through this help women all over the country, because obviously it touched her, and she felt like there was a reason that she had to go through this.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just to sit on her hands and whine about it. It was to make a difference. So that was a vehicle that she's used to promote cancer research.
All right, well, obviously it's going to be a home conference game that night against Brescia, so an exciting game. What do you expect to see there?
Well, Brescia is a really quick team. They press you the entire game. They like to get up and down the floor, and they've even been able to upset a few of the top teams in the conference already. So I know that they're going to be looking at stopping us or halting us as well. So it's going to be a quick game. It'll be very entertaining. If you don't know that much about basketball, there's going to be a lot of baskets made in that game, so
Right.
it'll be fun.
All right, well, great game and a great cause. Anything else you'd like to add about either Play4Kay or the Think Pink game that night?
Just that we really hope that we can get everybody involved within the community. This is a big deal, and we really want to make a connection with Bravo and continue to use this game. I would love to see this as being one of our biggest games that we can attract fans to, and understand that there's more to this than just basketball.
All right, well, thanks for joining. Be sure to make it over to the Tiernan Center on February 13th as the Red Wolves take on Brescia at home for the Think Pink Play4Kay game. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports right after this.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.